Thank you, Craig. And it is great to be back here. To just sort of step back and enjoy the nature and the beauty of this beautiful part of our state. And I really treasure coming back. Yes, I was here for the opening of the Manufacturing Center. Spectacular. I really was excited to be there. And so were the local employers who look to hire their graduates. And I was also here a couple months ago to talk about our Excelsior Scholarship Program, which guarantees every young person in the state of New York a higher education, a quality education, and a chance to better themselves. So yes, when you say I hit every county at least once, I think Allegheny is kind of up there to 5 or 6 times a year. So happy to be back. I did say hello to the President Sullivan just a couple minutes ago. And I also looked at your program, and you have had outstanding speakers here today. Your 2 previous keynoters really touched on topics that I'm rather absorbed with. I mean, I really focus all the time on making sure that we are educating young people with the skills that are useful to their future employers. And that's not something I would say when I received my public education was really focused on a few years ago, because guess what? There were a lot of jobs to go around. You could graduate from high school, like I did in Hamburg High School, go to the Bethlehem Steel Plant, like my dad did and my uncles did, work in manufacturing, and live the American dream with just a high school degree. That era is over. That era is over. And what that has been replaced with are the jobs that all of you represent, the STEM jobs. And that's exciting. And instead of being fearful of that, I love the fact that people here in this collaborative lean hard into that and try to find creative ways to get more young people to not just learn these incredible skills using their hands and their minds and their talents from kindergarten all the way through high school, but how do we get them to love it so much, inspired by you as teachers and educators, administrators, love it so much that they say, yes, this is the career I want to have. And I know that when the young people do that, when they make that decision, and I'm going to put a qualifier, especially young girls, when girls make that decision, they have literally transformed their lives. They've increased their earning power exponentially, number one. And I tell them this. When I speak to countless programs, whether it's the coding program, the Western New York STEM Hub did just a couple days ago at Buff State. I saw Michelle there. I was at the Central New York STEM Hub Collaborative talking to girls in high school, learning coding and science projects. It was incredible. And I tell them, don't you want to have your own money someday? Don't you want to be financially independent, take care of yourself? And if you are on average an employee in the state of New York, your earning power is about $47,000 a year. If you're in a STEM field, that goes up to $77,000 to $80,000. And I've got the numbers on every single county of what you can earn with a STEM degree. And all of a sudden their eyes light up. Yes, maybe I should be leaning into a field that's not just exciting and bettering people's lives, as we talked about in Buffalo. We talked about how coding may seem like sort of an abstraction, but if you're coding in a way that's going to create a genome sequence to cure cancer, you're helping change the world. So I wanted them to be inspired to know the great possibility they have to change the world through using the skills they can learn with a STEM degree. And that's why I get so fired up about this. And maybe it's also because I had a strong family influence. My father, as I mentioned, worked at the Bethlehem Steel Plant, but then he did go to a college, got a degree at night when he had myself as a baby and my brother and everybody living in a little trailer in Lackawanna. It was tough early days. But when he was 30 years old and had 5 of his 6 kids already, he did something that people thought he was crazy to do. He left the most stable job in Western New York, Bethlehem Steel, and went with 4 other guys to start a small technology company. Computers were the size of this room, because I used to go with Dad and work with them. We did the data punch cards. He was probably one of the pioneer app designers and software developers of his time. In fact, I took him with me to Buff State to see how it's evolved when I took him to the STEM Hub program there. My dad's 81. He thought that was pretty cool. But he had that risk-taking gene in him that perhaps I inherited. Because it's got to be kind of crazy going to public service these days. That's another whole topic. We'll get to that another time. But my father's influence changed the trajectory of our family, and they went from living in a trailer to my father eventually becoming president and CEO of Computer Task Group. 3,000 employees. In fact, he represented this country at the World Computer Congress in Paris. That's what going into a field like that can do. My sister was a receptionist at a tech company in Washington, D.C. Couldn't get a job in Western New York 20 years ago. No jobs. Everybody left. She moved up to be a recruiter. She moved into sales. She moved into marketing. Eventually started her own company. Ended up having the fastest growing IT company in the state of Maryland, fastest growing woman-owned business, had over 500 employees when my younger sister retired a few years ago. So I have seen the power of people going into these fields and how they can not just take care of themselves, but also give the dignity of good paying jobs to countless others. And that's what I look at as well. It's not just taking care of yourself. It's, are you helping others achieve their full potential? And so it's up to all of you in your various capacities to create that spark. What's going to get them excited about this? And when I've gone to STEM Hug programs, I've been to Girls Who's Coding, I've been to Google and Yahoo and places in New York City, I watched Hidden Figures with kids from a P-Tech program from Brooklyn P-Tech. Now these kids lived in one of the worst zip codes in the state of New York, surrounded by poverty and hopelessness. And I told them they hit the jackpot by being in the P-Tech program. And when they sat there and watched that film with me, African-American young men and women watching this Hidden Figures program, sitting next to me, literally jumping out of their seats and cheering, seeing what these women had done at NASA. It inspired them, I know it did. I wanted to see, figure out how we can get that program shown in every single school in America. That's the power we can tap into. These kids are waiting for someone just to pull them along and mentor them. And perhaps when I speak about the girls, one of the problems we don't have enough women who are the teachers. And this is, I've studied why there are fewer women in this. And it's often a teacher that's going to do, it's always a teacher. I mean, these are kids many times coming from homes where the parents don't even have home computers and they don't know anything about this. They've not gone to school themselves. They are trying to make ends meet. They are struggling. And I know there's so much in our teachers today. I come from a family of teachers. And they are the social workers, they're the doctors, the nurses, the surrogate moms, the surrogate dads. That's the only stability that some of these kids know, and I get that. And I just have such admiration for everything they do. But they also have tremendous power to influence in a positive way. I had very good influences on me. Mr. Peter James, a middle school teacher, taught me the love of government and the possibility of making people's lives better through public service. Had some wonderful teachers. I will not dwell on one of my teachers when I went off to Syracuse University to study political science. He said, political science degree? That's pretty worthless. He said, you'll be back here at Hamburg bagging groceries with that degree. He's like, so I think I've lived my whole life trying to prove him wrong. But he was absolutely an exception. And I think he was just trying to give me a reality check. That even then he knew that something that did not give me tangible skills might be harder to get a real job. I understand. I understand that. You, in fact, in contrast, are teaching and inspiring people to go into skills where I have employers begging for people to have these skills. Because I chair, as you mentioned, heard from my resume, I chair the Governor's Regional Economic Development Councils. That puts me in contact with employers all over the entire state of New York every single day. And they don't complain about the taxes in New York, they don't complain about the regulations, they don't complain about Albany anymore. What they complain about is not having workers with the skills they need to step into the jobs. And I even heard this back in my days in Congress. I constantly was having meetings with the presidents of community colleges in my district and putting them with the largest employers and saying, are you all communicating? Do you know what skills are needed? Not today. Today's over. Today's history. What skills do our industries need from the students 3 to 5 years from now? And what's so fascinating about our governor's economic development strategies, we're actually making it easier. We have identified, or not, I shouldn't say we, the locals have identified what their key industry clusters are that they want to focus on. A few days ago, after I visited the Central New York STEM Hub class and saw the girls there, I went over to a demonstration of the drone. We've identified Syracuse to the Mohawk area as a testing corridor for unmanned aerial systems, the only one in the nation. So this is going to be the epicenter for drone technology. And these girls in this Central New York STEM hub, guess what they had on their desks and were studying and looking at? Drones. That was smart. They're learning something that in their own community, there'll be jobs waiting for them. Rochester, it's photonics, building on the legacy of Eastman Kodak. Southern Tier, we are leaning hard into clean energy. Buffalo, on the site of a former steel plant, it'll be the largest solar panel fabrication facility in North America. Solar City, now Tesla and Panasonic, opening in a few months. They are desperate to have people with STEM degrees. I asked them, what are you looking for? They said, well, all the way up to PhDs and engineers, but all the way to high school graduates who are decent at math and can communicate. And they'll train them up. So that is the great news. When the governor was first elected, the unemployment rate in the state of New York was 9% on average, and many, Southern Tier, I guarantee, was higher, by 11%, 12%. Now it's 4.5%. That's a good news story. But the challenge is, now that there's finally jobs coming back, we have fewer people to fill them. So that is why I have concluded, as I thought about what you're doing this weekend, these past couple days and Sunday. If I had put my finger on the most important activity going on in the state of New York today, I have to say it's what you're doing here. Because the conversations, the stimulations, the thoughts that are being stimulated here to make us do a better job in the state of New York, to have our teachers be able to inspire our students to go into these fields. That is the future of New York State. Everything I talked about is not old school. That is the future, those industries. And nanotech, I didn't even mention Albany and Utica. We've got this covered. But we will never be the state we can be if we don't have students who love these careers and want to go into this and love these fields. That's the weight that's on all your shoulders. Truly, for us to be competitive in a global arena. And Craig and I were just down in Washington, D.C. at Select USA Conference. I represent the state of New York. Every other state is represented there. We had 3,000 people from around the globe. Everything from billionaires from China and India and Australia. They could take their high-tech businesses anywhere in the nation. And I'm rather competitive. I keep telling them there's only one state. When you're in China, they've not heard of Iowa, I guarantee it. They've heard of New York. And I lean into saying, you need to come to New York. And then they will say to me, well, what about your workforce? I want to be able to answer that question. Don't worry about the workforce. We've got it covered. Because we have programs like this that help educate and stimulate and inspire people to keep pushing our kids into these fields, because not just can it take them out of poverty in many cases, it can help their communities, help local employers, but can make their own state be the most competitive state in the nation. Those are the stakes that I'm talking about. The outcome of what you're doing here these past 3 days. That's how significant it is. And so I want to thank all of you for the role that you play. And I hope you know how valued you are. Because when I go to these places and I look and see kids in these programs, that's part of my job. When I go see students in a coding program and talking to them about something they've created. And I also tell, again, the young women, there's so few young women in these fields, so few. And I understand if it's a tech culture, that's a bro culture, you hear about what out of Uber, it's not a very inviting environment for some of these girls. We have to break through that. We need women to be the presidents of these tech companies and presidents in fields, in medicine, and leaders in all these areas, so other young women will feel there's role models, that they're not the first or the only. It's tough being the only woman in a room, as I've done much of my life. I want a different environment for our daughters, our kids, the kids that you're touching every single day. We can do that by inspiring them. And I talked to these girls, and I was just at Bergward High School. Alfred has an outstanding program there. If you've not visited a program like this, you need to. These are kids in the worst zip code in Buffalo, not far from where I grew up. And they're learning automotive technology because there's hundreds of jobs. You cannot use a wrench to fix a car anymore, by the way. It just doesn't work. You have to have a degree. You have to have a STEM degree to be able to work on a car. And I look at them and I say, kids, you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to take care of your moms and your brothers and sisters. Now we know we're making a difference, one person at a time, by getting them. And I tell them, you're in this program, you're in 10th grade, you've got to get your sisters and your brothers in programs like this. We have to figure out a way, and I think one outcome from this can be, how do we inspire more to want to be teachers in these fields? They need to. How do we reward them? How do we know how valued they are? And how critically important what they do is. And I'll just mention a couple of the governor's programs. We've invested $7 million in K-12 STEM education. We're adding 10 new P-Tech programs. I visited from New York City to Buffalo to Troy to Kingston. I've been to these P-Tech programs. I want every single school and school district to have a P-Tech opportunity for these kids where they can, at the end of high school, either have a 2-year college degree or well on their way to one. And for these kids who grew up in poverty, who never even talk about college at the dinner table because it's so far-fetched, this is a dream come true for them. And they're getting it sitting in a public high school. Transformative. That's what these programs are. They're literally transformative. We're also working on professional development programs for computer science teachers, trying to expand computer science in schools, adding another $5 million to the Tech Task Force Training Fund, which I chair, and our community college regional councils, which I also chair. And this is what we talk about incessantly. And the employers say the community colleges, we say the teachers at high school, to grade school, how do we get more kids into these programs? If you have the answer, and it's a simple one, tell me. It's a little more complicated, we'll continue the conversation. But that's what I'm looking to all of you as leaders and part of this collaborative to tell us in the state, because I don't have the answers. I just know the problem. I believe there's an answer. I'm always an optimist, but I want to supercharge this. I want to jumpstart this. I want to be ahead of every other state and figure out how we can meet the needs of our employers while giving our young people a better life. And that is what this is all about, in my opinion. That is why I feel so deeply passionate about it. Again, I cannot thank you enough. The challenges you encounter day to day, you probably rarely get a pat on the back. It's tough, but you're doing the work of God because you're making people's lives better. That's how significant this is. You're changing kids' lives. And the governor and myself, I want to thank you for that commitment. And your legacy will endure when these kids, because of something you did or the people you work with or your organization you're with, feel inspired to go in the field. They now have a better future than you would have if they had not been touched by someone in this room. Thank you very much.
To Lieutenant Governor Kathleen Hochul, in deepest appreciation for your keynote address.
Thank you everybody.